Hey there, YouTube. This is Vargas XX78 from the Vargas Vault, sharing with you guys the comic book pickups for this month. I actually had a lot more comic books in the comic book store. The comic book store that I go to is kind enough to store all the books that I asked them to, as long as I go pick them up. But unfortunately, between some money issues that I have, the fact that most of the comic books, mostly marbled books, are $3.99, and that the exchange rate between the peso and the dollar has gone up, I wasn't able to get all of the books. I got most of the books, but once again, I had to leave a couple books, mostly Spider-Man, X-Men, and Simpsons and Star Wars. That's what I left behind, but I was able to get all of the DC stuff and a couple of other things that I'm going to showcase here. So, just wanted to share this video and the haul with you guys. So, let's get started with Action Comics 970, starting the trial of Lex Luthor. Godslayer, which is this character that was introduced last issue, apparently is from the future, and he says that Lex is going to become the new Darkseid and cause death and destruction across the galaxy. So, in order to stop that, he is going to kill Lex Luthor. So Superman, this is the pre-Flashpoint Superman, knows that Lex Luthor is evil. He knows that he's bad news, but his code of ethics won't allow Lex Luthor to die. So story continues in 971, where the trial doesn't go well for Luthor, and he's sentenced to death, but Superman saves him, and Superman and Lex in issue 972 are stuck in a world where Superman doesn't have any powers. So, yeah. Still picking up Action Comics. I think I'm gonna stick until 975, and then I'm gonna pick it up again when it reaches its 1000th issue. But Action Comics has been really good, and the biggest part of it is because pre-Flashpoint Superman is back. Picked up Batman issue 13. The I Am Suicide storyline that's going on is pretty cool, where Batman is fighting Bane. And we have a nice two-parter with Catwoman. I really dug this, and the cover looks pretty cool. We got issue 14 and issue 15. Now, I read somewhere, I think, that issue 16 is going to have Swamp Thing, so that's going to be pretty cool. Picked up Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures. This is a crossover between the Nickelodeon animated Ninja Turtles, and the Batman from the animated series. And their worlds are crossing over. You got the Joker, trying to take over the Foot Clan. You got Poison Ivy working with this plant thing that's a villain in the Nickelodeon Ninja Turtle universe. And you got the Turtles having to deal with the Scarecrow. It's good stuff. This is really, really good stuff. Much like the first series that came out, I like this. But, of course, I'm a huge sucker for anything crossover-ish. So, this is my bread and butter, and this series is pretty cool. Speaking of crossovers, we have a crossover that was set up by DC called Justice League versus the Suicide Squad. It's basically the Justice League, the current Justice League, going on off against the current Suicide Squad. And both teams have to team up because Maxwell Lord is brought together the original Suicide Squad. So yeah, they have to team up and take them down, because the original Suicide Squad had, just alone, they had Dr. Polaris and Lobo, the original Bastage Lobo. So that's pretty cool. And we got issue 1, we got issue 2. In issue 3, the Suicide Squad is able to beat the Justice League, and Amanda Waller has them captured. The only one that escapes is Batman, because, of course, he's Batman. In issue 4, things take a turn for the worse because Maxwell Lord finally brings his team to fight the Justice League, and it's revealed that what he wants is the Eclipso Stone, because he wants to use the Eclipso Stone to power himself up, and then take over the world, because that's what people do. So in issue 5, the Justice League is eclipsed. They're turned evil, and they're under the control of Maxwell Lord. Maxwell Lord then discards his original team and doesn't feel that the Suicide Squad is worth his time. So now the Suicide Squad has to actually take the fight to him. And in issue 6, things get really bad because the Suicide Squad is under the control of Eclipso. The Justice League is under the control of Eclipso. The only people that are not under their power is Batman, Harley Quinn, and Amanda Waller, and Killer Frost. So yeah, but this was a good crossover. It was very interesting to see the two teams work together, and it does set up some things for the future. So if you can find it, it came out one issue per week for a 6-week period. It was still $3.99. I'm sorry, I thought it was $2.99. No wonder it was more money than I thought. Well, it was a $3.99 book, which was disappointing because DC has done a good job of keeping the books at $2.99. But oh well, still a good series. Picked up Hellblazer, $2.99 book. Not really know if I don't really know if I'm gonna keep getting Hellblazer. Mostly because of the artwork. The artwork in this arc wasn't my cup of tea, but I was collecting it because it had Swamp Thing in it, and I like Swamp Thing. I like him quite a bit. So yeah, it was just picking it up, but it still doesn't resolve. I mean, Swamp Thing no longer appears, but it doesn't really resolve anything. So the storyline in this is still going on in issue 6. By the way, I really like this cover. So yeah, I guess I'll still pick up this because it does mention Swamp Thing, because Swamp Thing has to go back and rejuvenate, because the main thing is there's these like genies that abducted, either forcefully or by her own free will, Abby Arcane, which is a Swamp Thing's true love. She's the avatar of the Rot, but she's no longer in the Rot Kingdom. So John Constantine has to figure out what's going on. So Swamp Thing might return. So definitely still gonna have to pick up Hellblazer. Another crossover which I dug. I picked up HeMan and the Thundercats. I grew up watching HeMan and I grew up watching Thundercats. And because they were done by different companies and everything, I never thought a crossover would ever happen. But here we have a crossover between He-Man and the Thundercats. Skeletor defeats Mun-Ra. With his ashes, he creates a potion to power up himself. But Mun-Ra is, still a powerful evil guy, so they're still kind of like stuck together. But Skeletor, with the power up, kills He-Man, and then injures Lion-O, leaves a big old scar in his face. But the Thundercats are able to stop Skeletor. Of course, Skeletor and Mun-Ra then hatch this plan to control the evil ancient gods that power Mun-Ra. So now the Thundercats need to resurrect He-Man, which happens in issue 4. But the way that they went about it is that they resurrect He-Man with Mun-Ra's some chamber that Mun-Ra uses. So He-Man comes back, but he's evil, because that thing was evil. So you have the epic fight of He-Man versus Lion-O. So that was freaking cool. I like this whole concept. So I think it's a 6 issue. Yeah, 6 issues. So it only has 2 more issues to go. But so far this has been pretty awesome. Then we have Justice League issue 11, which is the last part of the Outbreak storyline, where the Justice League fights Amazo. Then we have a Justice League tie-in with Justice League Suicide Squad in issue 12 with Maxwell Lord. Then we have another tie-in with Wonder Woman choking Steve Trevor and the whole corrupted Justice League. Then we have Superman issue 13, where Superman is trying to deal with Frankenstein, the DC version of Frankenstein, and Frankenstein's bride. Also digging Superman a lot. Now in issue 14, things are getting interesting because Superman encounters a Superman from an alternate dimension. And something is going around killing Superman in parallel worlds. So it opens up the floodgate again for the multiverse, which continues in issue 15. So yeah, the multiverse is still a thing, and Superman has to deal with it. But digging Superman as well as Action Comics, and it's still $2.99. Then finally picked up the much delayed last issue of Civil War 2, where Tony Stark and Captain Marvel finally go head to head and they fight. And what happens here has already been spoiled in other books, so I have no idea why Marvel decided to delay this as much as they did. But it was a lackluster ending. Tony Stark is left in a coma. They don't really explain that very well. And Captain Marvel, despite all the damage that she caused, despite all the thing that she did to start the Civil War, she is giving basically free reign to do whatever she wants. So everything she did had no consequences. It's ridiculous. This book was awful. And this honestly put me off any other big Marvel event. Marvel started another big event called Monsters Unleashed, and I am not picking that up. I am not, despite the fact that it sounds interesting because it's like all the Godzilla-sized monsters in the Marvel universe getting together and causing destruction. Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to give Marvel any more of my money for crossovers, except one, which I'll talk about later. But this was disappointing, and it's been a long time since a Marvel event was good, ended good, and wasn't delayed as hell. So Civil War, unfortunately, I think will be one of the last Marvel big events that I buy, except one, which I am going to talk about. And that's this one right here. Inhumans vs. XMen. Thanos, no, actually it was Black Bolt, released the Terrigen Mists in Infinity. And the Terrigen Mists are creating Inhumans. However, the same mists are killing off mutants. So the X-Men basically have to take the fight to the Inhumans to try to prevent the Terrigen Mists from continuing to engulf the world and kill off mutant kind. The Inhumans don't want that because they don't want their species to be stunted. So they have this whole conflict with the X-Men and the Inhumans. So so far it's a pretty good conflict. I like it. I like the battle. The artwork by you is always cool. So I'm picking this one up. I hope it doesn't end as disappointingly as Civil War. And I really hope this thing doesn't get delayed as much as Civil War 2 did. But this one is enjoyable. Picking up Wolverine. All new Wolverine. Love all new Wolverine. Love the idea of X-23 being a legacy character. And this is still going on. Still continuing the Enemy of the State 2, where they want to turn Laura again into a remorseless killing machine. So this is good. Also good, Old Man Logan. The currently regular artist is back. And this one is interesting because it has Wolverine kind of like shifting between two places. He wakes up and he's back in the Wastelands where he was before he got into the 616 Marvel Universe. But at the same time, he's having flashbacks of him being in a space station with the Brood. So things are getting they're really weird because they keep flashing between that space station with the Brood and his time in the Wastelands. So, but it's Old Man Logan. It's cool. The artwork is cool, and they have the Brood, and I like the Brood. They're kind of like they're not really kind of. They're actually very obviously a ripoff from the aliens from Ridley Scott's film. So, but that's always cool to me. So, yep. Also have Wonder Woman 13. Wonder Woman has gone crazy because she found out that after she left Paradise Island, the island she was returning to was a lie, was an illusion, so she's going bonkers. But of course, that's interrupted with the flashback issue in issue 14, where Wonder Woman encounters Ares, the god of war. And then we switch back to the future in issue 15, where Wonder Woman has become catatonic. She's crazy, and Steve Trevor puts her in an insane asylum to protect her. Because if a crazy lady says she's Wonder Woman, everyone's going to think she's crazy. So again, the artwork is cool, the writing is cool. My only gripe is the whole switching back and forth. And I mentioned this in every one of these videos, but the constant flipping back and forth between past and present is kind of bugging me. But it's still a solid run. I still like Rucka's writing. I still like the artwork in the past and the present. So I'm going to stick to Wonder Woman until this is resolved. The only thing I don't like is they are kind of retconning. Sorry about that weird cut. The memory on my camera actually gave out, so I had to restart this. But yeah, just to finish real quickly, the only thing I don't like about this kind of reboot that they're doing is that they are removing elements from the last reboot they did in the New 52. I actually enjoyed the fact that Wonder Woman was the daughter of Zeus, and she had an even greater power upgrade. I thought it was cool that Wonder Woman was made to be even more powerful because she was already a trained Amazon warrior. Plus, she had godlike powers, being the daughter of Zeus. So I thought that power upgrade was awesome. But they're retconning that with this series, and that kind of sucks. But again, it's still very well written, and I'm still digging it. So yeah, that's my comic book pickup video. Like I said, I left a couple of books behind, but next time I go pick them up, I'll record the other part. Like always, I try to recommend the standout things from my haul, and I'm gonna go with the Wolverines, Old Man Logan, and an X-23. Because I love Wolverine. I'm sorry, I dig it. I dig that guy as a character. I'm super looking forward to Logan coming out in March. I think that's going to be really cool. Also recommend HeMan versus the Thundercats. The artwork might not be for everyone. The artwork kind of cartoonish. But the story's pretty cool. I like the story. I like seeing the Thundercats fight the Masters of the Universe. So that is awesome sauce in my book. And Justice League Suicide was good, but I'm going to recommend, if I can get to it, the Batman books, because they have gotten very good. So that's my recommendation, guys, and thanks so much for watching. Again, sorry for that weird cut, but until I see you all again, this is Vargas XX78, thanking you all and signing out.